Hi, and welcome to episode 45 of Think Like a Hacker, the podcast about WordPress security and innovation. This week, we have something special for you. At WordCamp Minneapolis, Tim Cantrell, who is our lead customer service engineer, sat down with Zach Stepek. Zach is the CEO of MindSize, a business that is dedicated to scaling WooCommerce. They talked about everything from how Zach got started with WordPress and WooCommerce to how to scale your business. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Tim Cantrell, and I'm from Wordfence, and today I'm chatting with Zach from MindSize. MindSize is a consulting business, and they consult with business owners that are running e-commerce stores, and they work with WooCommerce, Shopify, BigCommerce. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about what your role is in the company.
Well, as CEO, I wear the most hats, so I do a lot of hat swapping.
Okay.
That's a big part of my role. Mostly, vision and guiding the company, helping with hiring, sales, marketing, anywhere I can support that's not production related. My keyboard's been taken away.
As it probably should have been, right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, the goal is business owners to hire people that are better at what you do than what you are, right? And that's what we did.
So you're lucky enough to find a lot of people like that?
It's difficult, but we've been very lucky, and we have an amazing team.
So what do you think as far as hiring people, what do you look for in a person?
Really, we look for cultural fit first, skill second. Skill can be taught.
Absolutely.
Cultural fit can't be taught. You have to have somebody that's the right fit for your brand, for your company culture. And if you are as off the cuff and a little odd as we are, you have to find the people that fit that culture.
You're odd.
A little bit.
I don't get that at all.
No?
I thought very conservative.
You don't get that vibe?
Like that.
Yeah, totally. At the point where we've had discussions internally in the company about providing MindSize branded beard combs as the hiring gift.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you give them now?
Nothing. We give them a salary.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
That's an awesome thing.
But we have so many bearded people on our team that it was just by accident, but it happened.
So you actually made a MindSize?
We haven't yet. We're still talking about it.
Gotcha.
We're still talking about it.
All the beards were just a coincidence.
They were. It is not a criteria for hiring, so we are an equal opportunity employer as we're supposed to be.
Right. No, and we appreciate that. So, how did you originally get involved with WordPress?
So, my first exposure to WordPress was before the admin refresh, and I hated it.
The admin refresh or before the admin?
Before the admin refresh.
Gotcha.
I just, at the time I was starting a company with a friend, and Lisa Heselton at the time, and we had talked about what technology we wanted to focus around. We both came from the Adobe communities, and we made the unfortunate decision, based on my lack of trust in the WordPress platform at the time, to focus on Business Catalyst because it was an Adobe product.
Right.
In hindsight, that was a mistake. Lisa, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad. I'm in WordPress now. Thank you for exposing me to it then. But I looked at it again around the time WooCommerce first came out, and I saw all the changes, and I saw that it had really grown into a robust, fully featured content management system. When I had first looked at it, it was still just a great tool for blogging.
Gotcha.
Right? And people were making it work as a content management system, but it wasn't really the core of what WordPress was.
Right.
So I had to build a website to sell music for a record label that I was a partner in.
Right.
And I found WooCommerce, and I'm like, yeah, this could work. So I built a WooCommerce site on WooCommerce 1.1. Right after the fork, pretty much.
And this is like around what year? What do you think? Can you ballpark?
2015,
Okay.
maybe earlier.
Okay.
I know I used a Woo Themes theme called White Light that isn't even available anymore. And we built this digital download site for the music from our record label and recording studio.
Right.
And that was my first exposure to WooCommerce. And then I had a friend who was building a site that owned a local agency, and he wanted some help with WordPress. And I said, well, I'm not really a PHP developer, you know? I don't know what I'm doing in this space yet, but we started to talk, and I said, okay, I'll help. And I got into it, and I'm like, this is pretty easy.
Right.
You know, by that point, I already had 3 or 4 languages under my belt, so the shift wasn't that big.
Yeah.
But got into starting to do custom development in WordPress and WooCommerce, and it was a WooCommerce site. We used WooCommerce subscriptions very, very early. Thank you, Brent and Prosperous team, now Automatic team, for enabling me to help that client at that point. And then I ended up getting a call on Thanksgiving from a friend. His name is Noah Courier. He's the founder of an organization called Oscar Mike.
Okay.
And Oscar Mike is an apparel company, but they're also a foundation that helps injured veterans participate in adaptive sporting events.
Yeah.
OscarMike.org, great company. They had a WooCommerce site, and he had been interviewed by Jeff Joniak, the voice of the Chicago Bears, in the Chicago Bears locker room set at Soldier Field.
Right.
For an interview that aired during the Thanksgiving Day game in the Chicago market between the Bears and the Packers. They got about 14 orders and their site crashed.
Oh my gosh.
I got a panicked call from Noah saying, hey, my site is down, I need some help. And after about 4 hours, we finally got into the site and rebooted it. No, it was at a server hosting company. I don't even remember who the hosting company was, but they had nobody in the office on Thanksgiving because it was a holiday.
Oh.
No support, no anything. So we had to find logins, and I had to manually reboot the VPS. And once I did that, the site came back up.
Sure.
And then I worked there for a year and a half.
At the hosting company?
No, at
okay.
Oscar Mike. So I worked in their office.
Gotcha.
And then from there, took various jobs as an e-commerce manager. I've worked as a user experience designer, as an assistant product owner and on an agile team, building healthcare software. I mean, I've been kind of all over the place in roles, moving into leadership positions as I went along. And late 2016, we were approached at WordCamp US by Chris Lemma, great friend of our company.
Sure.
And he said, hey, I just started this new job at this company, Liquid Web, and we want to build a managed WooCommerce hosting platform, and we want you to help.
Awesome.
And I said, sure, we can do that.
So did you get in able to consult on that and
We did,
design from ground up?
We helped with some of the architecture, and we built the first version of the custom order tables plugin that they offer today.
Nice.
And that was myself and Patrick Garman, my partner, in MindSize. And Patrick, the reason why he's so amazing is he ran the largest WooCommerce store in the world. It's still the largest WooCommerce store that's ever existed. They had 1,000 add to carts per minute happening on this store. And he had to architect things to keep that up and running.
Sure.
So because of that, we have a level of knowledge in scaling WooCommerce that doesn't really exist anywhere else because we've done it.
Yeah.
And so that really brought me into us starting the company. Liquid Web was our first client, which we're very thankful for.
Absolutely.
And we've been able to, in the time since, develop a great base of customers that we work with. We call them partners because that's really where we sit. Our mission as a company is to help store owners to make more money and run more efficient businesses. That drives everything we do.
Sure.
So that brought us to where we are now. And
So your company's very customer centric and customer focused?
we are very, because in our opinion, if our customers aren't succeeding, if they're not making more money because they've engaged us, then why are they paying us?
Right, absolutely.
If they're not making more money, we're not making more money. And we want that partnership to be,
Sure.
you succeed, and as a result of your success, we succeed.
So do you find yourself becoming more of like a member of, like by extension, a member of the customer's team?
Yeah, it does turn out that way a lot. We like to call it specialty as a service.
Awesome.
So we work with some other agencies too, where they don't have internal e-commerce knowledge,
Right.
or at least not at the level we do.
Sure.
So we come in and we consult as a specialty agency, and we'll co-pitch on projects and work together to provide the best possible option and experience for the end customer.
Absolutely, and with a focus on WooCommerce, where maybe not everybody has that, I imagine that's invaluable in some cases, especially when somebody's going to be busting out a e-commerce site like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got customers that were doing millions of dollars a month in sales, and
Wow.
they had to, they had an email list over 1,000 or over 1 million people on their email list, and they'd send a marketing email, and we had to keep the site running.
Right,
Like,
absolutely.
they send 1 million emails, and the site has to stay up. How do you do that? And
Yeah.
so we figured out, how to scale at that level, and keep the site running without having to resort to using a queuing system. But we
Right.
also, we use queuing systems for high traffic events.
Sure.
So we make sure that the site, even if the site can't handle the traffic, something is there telling people, hey, you have a place in line.
Right. That's awesome, man. So we were chatting before a little bit before we got talking before at the table here at WordCamp Minneapolis. We were talking about some of the features of WooCommerce are being integrated into Jetpack. Was that what you're saying?
Well, okay, so WooCommerce has this thing called WooCommerce Services, and it does some really cool things. Like it allows you to print shipping labels, and you get discounted rates on shipping labels, and it has integrated tax calculations that are automated, that are provided by TaxJar, which is a company that all they do is
Sure.
is taxes. And all of these functions are great things, but they're tied to using Jetpack, and there's a reason for that.
Right.
Jetpack had an existing API. They had an existing server infrastructure at Automatic. It made more sense to the team, and I understand why they did this, but it made more sense to the team to leverage existing infrastructure
Right.
rather than building something new.
Right. Correct.
So that's why those features are powered by Jetpack.
Do you think that that's a good decision for site owners, or
I
is
think-
that problematic?
I think if I was Matt and I was looking at the engineering effort, I would have done the same thing.
Really?
Yeah,
So, but end result, is that a good thing still? What do you think?
for some.
Okay.
Our enterprise customers, the people who are just really big and want to control all of their data,
Sure.
they're never going to use it.
Right.
Jetpack also has a thing called Jetpack Search. It's a way, without having to worry about infrastructure, to use Elasticsearch on your site.
Gotcha.
Great feature. But a larger client who's worried about data security doesn't want a shadow copy of their site living on WordPress.com in order to power that search.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
So, if they're really worried about owning their data and making sure it's only where they can control it, then at that point they're looking at building that infrastructure themselves, having their own Elasticsearch server, having, their own implementation of all of these other features that Jetpack's providing through WooCommerce services, just out of the box.
Sure. So, are there any security challenges that you think WooCommerce users face?
Oh yeah. So there's this little thing called the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards, or PCI DSS.
Yes.
And there's these self-assessment questionnaires, SAQA, and all of these other self-assessment questionnaires you have to go through. They range from like 5 pages of questions to 85 pages of questions, depending on what level you're certifying at.
Right.
So security is a gigantic piece of running an e-commerce site. Because if you have a data breach, or if you're making the wrong decisions and you install a plugin that, oh, I don't know, stores credit card information in your database, bad idea. Never do that. Never store security cards or your credit card information. Never store credit card information in your database.
I'm not really sure how you feel about that. It didn't seem like you were very strong. Which way did you lean on? Storing data?
If absolutely necessary, never store credit card information in your database. So, there's a number of these security requirements that the payment card industry has for accepting payments through an e-commerce store. And if you are not in compliance with those things, and somebody hacks your site, and they get credit card information, the payment card industry doesn't have regulation on how they fine people.
Yeah.
They control it. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all of these clearinghouses for cards and card payments, they control what those fines look like.
So I'm guessing that could be pretty expensive.
$50,000 per incident in some cases, yeah. It adds up to, for a large breach, millions and millions of dollars in fines. Target had a breach. We remember that breach. And then there was Equifax breach.
Yeah, Equifax. Ashley Madison.
Yeah, all of these things, millions and millions of dollars in fines. And if you don't pay the fine, you're not required to pay the fine.
Oh, really?
But if you don't pay the fine, they turn off your ability to accept credit cards.
Wow.
Until the fines are paid.
So you're kind of getting fined either way, right?
Yeah. Either you pay the fines or you don't have a business. Because I don't know about you, but I pay with my debit card, which is cleared through Visa, or a credit card through Visa, MasterCard, or American Express pretty frequently. And if a business that I did business with no longer could accept cards, I probably wouldn't be able to do business with them, because I'm not going to drive, to California where the business is located and hand them cash, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a big deal.
Absolutely.
And these security standards, the requirements there, you have to have a secure site. You have to make sure that you're making the right decisions, installing plugins that aren't from some weird third-party source that nobody has ever heard of before. We actually tend to only install things from WooCommerce.com or things we've written ourselves for that very reason. There are a couple other marketplaces we support, like Shop Plugins, which is Daniel Espinosa's site, and a couple of others that we don't really mind. But there are plugins that we see that are huge performance issues and huge security issues, and some of our clients run security scans, and we get back reports that say, yeah, this has 720 critical security errors in this plugin. Yeah, no, none of our clients are ever going to use that again.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, security is paramount with e-commerce.
So if you were to give me, what was the craziest site that you ever had to manage, or that your company's ever had to work on? And you don't have to give me a name.
No, we worked on a site that had 190,000 subscriptions that renewed every month.
Oh, wow. And how much did they renew for?
I think the average order value was around $12.
Yeah, and so we figured out that we talked about it yesterday. It was the one we talked to yesterday?
Yeah.
And that was like almost $3 million a month.
$3 or $4 million a month in just recurring revenue.
So is there any specific challenges you had to face with that one?
Yeah, running all of those cron jobs through Action Scheduler at the time. It was a beast, and we actually helped shepherd through a track ticket for WordPress core that helped increase subscription renewal rates by 9 times the performance they were before.
Wow.
That's a huge gain.
And that's a huge gain for the entire community that uses WordPress.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And if you're using subscriptions and you implement a filter that we had them add, you get 9 times the renewal speed.
That's awesome.
Just huge. And that's the kind of stuff that we try to contribute back. We're running at a scale for most of our clients that most other companies haven't seen in WooCommerce. So we try to contribute those things back to core, to improve WordPress core, to improve WooCommerce core for everybody.
Sure.
Because, yeah, sure, at some point we're going to work ourselves out of really tough problems that we have to fix with the core platform.
Sure.
And there aren't many anymore. Like, WooCommerce core will scale.
Yeah.
It's people's decisions that make it not scale. And, we run it on gigantic sites with very minor modifications. So it's possible to scale it. And so anybody who says WooCommerce can't scale, I look at them and say, okay, tell our clients that. Because they're definitely scaling WooCommerce. Like, that's a reality.
It's happening.
Yep.
So if there's anything else you want to talk about today?
I think we've covered a lot. We're here in Minneapolis, and the Vikings have this event happening downtown right by my hotel.
And they're having the county fair?
Yeah, the county fair's going on.
Everything is sold on a stick.
Everything.
Cheese, pickles.
Yeah, you can get anything on a stick.
Anything on a stick.
Yeah, but it's been really beautiful being here. The campus is great. This venue is awesome.
Yeah.
And the team here is just so good.
Shout out to Jessie Girl.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Jessie Girl is amazing.
She is. All right, well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Zach,
thank you.
Appreciate you, man, talking, and that's it.
We hope you enjoyed that interview with Zach Stepek. If you'd like to follow him on Twitter, he is at ZStepek. You can find MindSize at MindSizeMe. And if you'd like to follow Tim Cantrell, you can find him at TCan1337. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.